second upload for today on the 3rd of May 2020 is with regard to the issues of sexual assault and revenge porn and the effects on women's rights, and also with regards to the effects of other females in society, professionals and non-professionals that might be directly or indirectly involved and affecting the rights of women and children that have been victims of sexual assault and revenge porn. Over a decade ago, when I experienced sexual assault and revenge porn, there was defamation also involved in that issue. The defamation was very serious and totally unsubstantiated. The collective individuals that were responsible for broadcasting online and shared the incidents of sexual assault that were recorded have yet again become culprits of more serious assaults, the assault of human rights. These people have, at every nook and cranny and corner, attempted to avoid confronting the damage that they've done. They have a deluded concept of reality that think that by avoiding their issues and by masquerading as do-gooders in other areas, that they are exempt from confronting the justice of what had been perpetrated by them. These people that have done this over a decade ago and yet again in recent years since I gave birth and got married, have taken it upon themselves to decide how they would mete out justice. Justice, as I've mentioned, in terms of research with regards to artificial intelligence, is a huge concern of mine, considering how I've experienced such serious injustice. The denial is the worst. Victims of sexual assault and any kind of assault, a character assault, any kind of assault, any victim would know that people playing the card of denial and refuting and refusing to confront the truth is a very morbid and sick state of mind for those unable to confront the issues that they are concealing and the issues that they are facilitating and the wrongdoings that are also being facilitated. So the hierarchy of needs of Emer Griffin McElligott has intentionally been disrespected and intentionally destroyed by a collective group of people playing mind games so as to avoid confronting the damages that they've done to women's rights and children's rights. The issue of financial abuse, theft and exploitation is a big part to play. Financial abuse and destroying a person's profession and career is preventative of the victim from not only attaining and maintaining a healthy livelihood, but also from attaining legal rights being respected and legal guidance being provided and medical care also from being provided. So these do-gooders and mascots of progression and positive developments in society that are guilty of broadcasting defamation and revenge porn over a decade ago and have recently also done even more serious damage to society, are not only destroying hierarchies of needs, not only disrespecting women's rights and children's rights, but are also falsifying facts and making incredulous insinuations. As we know with victims of sexual assault and any kind of assault, there's always the insinuation, oh, she was, dressed in whatever way she was dressed, or she was taking whatever she was taking, or she was in the company of whoever she was in the company of. So these are the cheap and juvenile insinuations and tactics of people with no respect for a person's experience of assault. For those victims in some similar circumstances as myself, I hope that those victims are aware of the strength of recovery. I hope they're aware of the strength and fellowship of recovery, one day at a time, through the ordeals and difficulties that dishonest and disrespectful people put in the way of victims. So when there's a lot of guilty culprits, it's a little bit more difficult for victims to attain justice and safety and honesty. And when that happens, when there's a collective all safeguarding their own interests and reputations, a victim is put in a more dangerous and vulnerable situation in society. And that is with relevance to the hierarchy of needs. We all have medical needs, we all have legal rights, we all have a right to our homes and the safety of our homes, we all have a right to our freedom, we all have a right to our financial wealth and our choice of profession and career that we have studied and worked for. We all have a right to our own personal faith. We all have a right to choose. And these people in society incapable of respecting justice and honesty, and that are disrespecting other pillars of society like the family unit, the right of privacy is a huge issue, and that have no regard for a person's reputation, character, or good name. These matters are all the issues that victims of sexual assault and revenge porn have to endure. So this is what I'm experiencing in 2020, 15 years on since I first commenced my recovery from what occurred over a 2-year period. Those people, the guilty culprits, have broadcasted themselves as good Samaritans. And good Samaritans they are not. Good liars is all they are. The identity theft and the spiritual violence that has also recently occurred is another more serious aspect. So this has all been unjustifiable, it's been unforgivable, and it's been absolutely inexcusable. And the recent attempts and efforts by these culprits to claim to be reformed from the violence that they've perpetrated against women's rights and children's rights in only a very short recent time, their attempts to claim to be on a good, fresh path of reformed thinking, reformed behaviour, while yet perpetrating human rights violations is all very contradictory and very, very serious for civil liberty agencies to be ignoring. So women's aid groups and victims of assault that can identify with me and that are aware of what I'm explaining and experiencing in these uploads. I hope you are aware also of the implications for female professionals and female politicians that facilitate the wrongdoings and injustices and vendettas that I'm experiencing and explaining on these uploads. To be in any way, directly or indirectly, facilitating the guilty culprits of publicising falsehoods, false information, compromising images, compromising vendettas of women's rights, to facilitate in any way as a female professional or a female non-professional. I hope they understand the implications of not only facilitating but also for damaging the female anatomy, for disrespecting the female anatomy, for disrespecting femininity, for disrespecting feminine faith and spirituality, for disrespecting feminist or feminine identity and ideology. So those women that are in these positions facilitating these injustices that I'm experiencing, I hope you understand the compromise. I hope you understand the implication, and I hope you understand the disgrace of such wrongdoings and of such vendettas that I am coping with single-handedly while people are lying their way through a very dishonest and disparaging human rights violations issue. So for women's rights and children's rights, I speak honestly, clearly and openly. And for those with mental health issues that have a difficulty and incompetence to rectify, compensate, and make amends, etc., for offences that we are all aware of, that is common knowledge, then, you know, I hope you're aware of the implications. So that's my second upload. That's an upload for women's interests, for female victims' interests. The injustice is horrendous. Hierarchy of needs being disrespected is horrendous. And people with mental health issues and incompetencies that are guilty of hate crime, and those falsely masquerading themselves in movements while causing this kind of a circumstance of identity theft and financial theft and property theft and spiritual violence. I hope you're all aware of the compromise. So that's the second upload for today, and I'm in Tralee, County Kerry, Ireland. That's not defamatory of my present location, but due to postal correspondence also being withheld from me, and emails and such being obstructed, and preventative measures occurring, I'd appreciate it if those aware and empathic of my circumstances would contact me as soon as possible, please. These people have no regard for justice and human rights, and there's children's rights issues also implicated in this entire matter. And these people think they are above the law, and they think they are in control and manipulation of judicial systems and legal systems and legalities and illegalities of circumstances as guilty culprits. So those in a position to assist with this matter that I'm experiencing, I'd appreciate it greatly before there are any more victims.